Today, we've got an interesting topic to dive into: Palantir, the company that's known for its powerful data analytics solutions for both government agencies and global enterprises. This company has been making waves, and not to waste your precious time, we're going to break down why investors are so hyped about it, and also why there's a storm cloud hanging over the stock. Alright, so Palantir, if you don't know it already, has pretty much become the face of data analytics. Think about it. Governments are using Palantir's tech to manage everything from counterterrorism efforts to economic forecasting. Major corporations? Oh yeah, they're in too. It's like the world's most powerful software, helping you make sense of mountains of data, and turning it into actionable insights. Sounds like a superhero, right? And here's the thing, Palantir's growth isn't just a fluke. The company has been making some serious moves. They've strategically expanded into new sectors, and that's been driving a lot of their growth. Imagine Palantir as a DJ, constantly remixing its strategy to stay ahead of the game. In Q4, for instance, their earnings soared with a 36% total revenue growth year-over-year. Now, that's what I call making moves. And guess what's really giving investors that sweaty palms excitement? Artificial intelligence, AI. Oh yeah, Palantir's been all over that AI hype train. They've been incorporating AI into everything they do, making their data analytics even smarter, faster, and more predictive. We're talking AI-driven analytics that's transforming industries, from defense to healthcare. But it's not just about tech. Palantir's partnerships are also fueling investor interest. They've partnered with big players, and have forged relationships with governments possibly around the globe. You don't get that kind of traction without knowing how to play the game. Imagine Palantir is like your ultimate data sidekick. It's got all the answers, just waiting for the right people to ask the right questions. Whether it's governments trying to stop the next big security threat or a corporation figuring out how to make $1 billion from a single data point, Palantir's software has them covered. Alright, so we've seen Palantir's shiny side, revenue growth, strategic partnerships. The crowd's clapping, everything's moving up. But here's where things get a little bit more bad news and complicated. Tom Lee, a respected strategist over at Fundstrat, recently gave a recession warning that might just rattle your cage. Why is this such a big deal? Well, Lee suggests that if tariffs are implemented, the U.S. economy could very well slide into a recession. Yes, you heard that right. He's talking about a recession. And we know what that means: rising unemployment, shrinking businesses, and market chaos. But why does this matter to Palantir? Well, let's break it down. Imagine the U.S. economy is like a giant, well-oiled machine. Now, throw some tariffs into the mix, aka trade barriers, and suddenly, you've got a little rust showing. This means that businesses might struggle to grow, consumer demand might drop, and, in the worst-case scenario, companies could start shedding employees like they're going out of style. Now, if people are getting laid off, they're not spending money, which could impact Palantir. Remember, Palantir sells its software to government agencies and large enterprises, both of which could pull back on spending if the economy takes a nosedive. It's like Palantir's whole business model is riding a scooter on a slippery road, and one wrong turn could send it into the bushes. Not ideal, right? But hold on, it gets worse. Lee isn't just possibly worried about tariffs, he's also warning about the employment dynamics of the market. And by messy, he possibly means things could get as chaotic as a toddler's birthday party after too much cake. Possibly bad news for stocks like Palantir. When people are losing jobs or facing job insecurity, they're likely to cut back on tech investments. I mean, would you buy a shiny new data analytics platform when you're worried about making rent next month? Probably not. Lee's prediction for the first half of the year. The job market gets messy, with more layoffs and lower consumer spending. And if you're Palantir, that's like watching a giant wave of uncertainty roll in. Investors hate uncertainty. They'll start pulling their money out faster than you can possibly say. Data analytics, which would leave Palantir in a pretty tough spot. Alright, so let's get real. To make this all hit home, let's imagine a couple of situations. Tariff trouble. Imagine you're a company that relies heavily on global trade. One day, the US government slaps a big fat tariff on imported goods. Suddenly, your costs skyrocket. You have to lay off employees, and your growth comes to a screeching halt. Now, if you're Palantir, your clients are the ones feeling the squeeze. Less money to spend means fewer contracts for you. It's like you've been riding a rocket to the moon, and now someone's pulled the brakes. Oops. Messy job market. Picture this. You're a high-level executive at a major corporation, and you've been eyeing Palantir's software to help streamline your operations. But then, the economy takes a dive. Suddenly, your company is cutting costs left and right, and you're staring at a pile of pink slips. Palantir's software. Not top of the list anymore. The priorities shift from cutting-edge tech to let's keep the lights on. Just like that, Palantir's revenue projections start looking more like a sad trombone than a celebration. Can Palantir overcome this? So, what does this mean for Palantir in the long run? Is it going to fall apart like a bad reality TV show? Not necessarily. Sure, the risks are there: economic downturn, layoffs, tightened budgets, but Palantir has a couple of things going for it. For one, Palantir's software is deeply embedded in the defense and government sectors, where budgets are often more stable, and demand for high-tech data analytics is, well, always high. You can't exactly cut back on defense spending just because the economy gets a little wobbly. It's like saying, hey, we don't need to fight off bad guys because of a recession not possibly happening. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you've commented, let's continue. But wait. Please support us by becoming a member of our channel. We highly appreciate. Second, Palantir's expansion into AI means it's positioning itself for future growth. Even if the economy hits a rough patch, AI is a growing market that could help Palantir weather the storm. Think of Palantir as a superhero trying to make it through a villainous recession using its superpowers of data and AI to stay ahead. But no one's invincible, and if tariffs really do go up and unemployment starts to rise, things could get ugly, fast. Palantir isn't just immune to these pressures, and it'll need to adapt quickly to stay in the game. Palantir has been a rock star in the data analytics world, but like any great show, there's always a twist in the plot. Tom Lee's recession warnings and the uncertainty in the job market could spell trouble for Palantir if things go south. Is Palantir a strong long-term investment? Maybe. But if the market takes a turn for the worse, expect some bumpy rides along the way. Now that we've covered the potential storm clouds forming on the horizon for Palantir, let's talk strategy. Should you rush to cash out your Palantir shares, or is this the perfect opportunity to buy on the dip? Here's the thing, markets are like roller coasters. And if you've ever ridden one, you know that sometimes it's the steep drops that make the ride exhilarating, but also a little terrifying. So, what can you do to navigate the uncertainty ahead and still potentially come out ahead with Palantir? Dollar cost averaging, like a chill bungee jump. If you're an investor who believes in the long-term potential of Palantir, and hey, I don't blame you, those AI advancements look pretty sweet, you might want to consider dollar cost averaging. What is that, you ask? Well, instead of putting all your money in Palantir at once, you invest a little bit regularly, like making smaller payments instead of spending big all at once. This way, if the stock goes up, you've already made some gains, and if it dips, you're buying at lower prices, kinda like playing it cool while everyone else is freaking out. It's like bungee jumping, you're still jumping, but you're taking it step by step. That way, when the drop comes, whether it's a market correction or a recession, you've got a plan in place. It's our privilege that God, the creator of heaven and earth, will bless us abundantly, make us the head and not the tail if we love him and obey his commandments. Please acknowledge him in your plans and he will direct your paths. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Want more information? Please check the description section. Also again, I invite you support us by becoming a member. Link in the description section. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. There are 3 more important steps to build wealth. First, like this video, subscribe and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you highly motivate me to continue bringing to you educative and transformative videos every week. Do not miss out on our future videos full of knowledge and wisdom. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support is appreciated so much. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts about today's video. Thank you. See you in the next video by God's grace. We love you, and blessings to you.